survived the hangover.
Yeah.
We are now 22.
So how was your guys' weekend?
Halloween. My first basket was actually a pillowcase.
Your first basket was a
That was
pillowcase?
my first basket was
Okay.
a pillowcase.
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Thing. Like that's
Mhm.
my first. What was your first? Your first outfit, like your first costume. Your first store bought.
The store bought.
I was a bum all my life.
I think I was when I was younger. I think the first thing I remember, I was like a ninja or like a ninja.
I could see you as a
Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, I might have been a ninja turtle. I'd have been a ninja, or just like a straight up ninja, just black outfit, and my parents bought and shit like that.
I think I was just a chubby Spider-Man.
Chubby spider.
This chub right here. You know, I've grown up with this, and you can see it in my childhood photos.
You can make a lot of interesting outfits with that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I could sumo wrestler, Alex Jones.
Yeah. Alex Jones.
You guys ever seen a skinny pumpkin? I think that's like.
That's hysterical. That would be hysterical.
Yeah.
I've seen a skinny pumpkin.
You should dress up as a skinny pumpkin. This
That'd be good.
Come on.
You could rock it.
Like, was it like a dude in a T-shirt that had like a pumpkin
Paint
on
your
it?
skin
Like,
orange.
No, it was like a morph suit, but as a pumpkin.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like just
a
complete
It's a morph?
Orange?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does it
yeah.
have lines?
It looked like a pumpkin. Like his whole body was orange, and then on the face of it was a pumpkin face.
And he was skinny.
I mean, yeah.
That would be funny.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Halloween has kind of become like one of my more favorite holidays. Now that I've gotten like better at my costume choices and stuff like that.
No, you can
they've
afford
become
them.
funnier.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Also, I can afford them. You know, I'm just trying to be for real. But but now they've gotten a little bit more creative and like I gotten better reception and shit. Like now I kind of look forward to Halloween. But like now I have an expectation. Now I'm like, oh fuck. Now I can't just show up like whatever.
Yeah.
Right now I can just show up in my shirt and some pants with a bottle of fucking alcohol. Like I actually gotta like think of like more creative shit that I did last year.
You gotta try.
I gotta try now.
I wrote a joke about having to wear that little plastic suit because that was the original one that I bought.
Right.
And it came with that little mask, but I couldn't breathe through it. Nobody could breathe through that little mask. You needed to use, because the little nose holes were so tiny, and you needed to use the little hole in the mouth like to get some air. But naturally, you would stick your tongue out of the little hole and cut it all up.
Yeah.
But I joke about the fact that I would get to the doors after miles of walking.
Yeah.
And people couldn't tell if I was trying to be into character or being the character or if I was having an asthma attack.
Yeah.
I must be crazy. What costume was
Yeah. What the hell is
was
it?
the costume
Yeah.
again?
Oh my God! You know those cheapy plastic costumes with the plastic mask. You guys are too young.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but what was the costume?
It was just the plastic like little face.
It was a white plastic face?
Yeah. It wasn't one of those.
No, it was the images of all the superheroes or whatever.
Oh, so like, but which super? Did you
Well,
just
I
have
wasn't
all
Wonder
suit?
Woman.
You weren't Wonder Woman?
I wasn't Wonder Woman.
Were you like Iron Man or something?
No, it was,
Catwoman?
I remember it being. I don't know if it was a little monster costume. It was a
Okay.
little monster, but the lady couldn't tell whether I was literally
The Hulk?
having a heart, like an asthma attack.
Wow. Did you survive with the
Just like-
costume?
No,
Did you
Get
I went,
some.
trick. No, it was like a trick or treat. Like you just couldn't breathe. You couldn't breathe.
Is it acceptable to go to trick or treating as an adult? Is it
Absolutely.
Is it
Absolutely.
I haven't gone.
I force my kids to go.
Force
Still.
your
Like I got a
kids.
22-year-old, and I'm like, you're gonna trick or treat this year.
I
need my candy.
I need a candy.
And she's
So
like, you
can
can
get
just
what
buy
I'm
your candy at the Walgreens. I'm like, no, I want that candy.
Yeah.
It's a nice
Yeah.
selection. And then I could look through like for needles and stuff. We used to have to do that. We'd have to
Yeah.
look for needles.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody ever actually found a needle?
Oh yeah.
Have
In
people
Philly,
what?
In Philly, you had to decide whether
Oh,
that was
okay,
crack
maybe
or
in
like
Philly.
candy. Like that's. Like,
Wow.
oh,
Okay.
it's
I would
rock
understand
candy.
Philly. Yeah, it's
Rock
not
candy.
candy. Who would waste crack like that?
Well-
Give it to kids.
They
Come
usually
on.
staple a phone number or something onto us. You can call them back later.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, this was good crack.
This is great. Yeah, it's like a little. It's like a public sampler. That's how we. That's how we advertise this as crack for this the neighborhood. It's like, oh, yo, Johnson over there, he's got good crack.
That's good crack.
My kid
That
got
candy.
some.
Look, Mama, look, I got candy. That's crack.
Oh my god.
Go get daddy some candy.
Hey. All right, ask us some questions. You got questions?
Yeah, of course. You want to get into any of it? I think we've,
Sure, we can at least, like,
we've
pop some
banter enough. Well, I'm see. Here's how I'm gonna do it. Since you guys are both comedians, you both are actors, and you primarily an actor, you primarily a comedian.
Well, she's
Yeah, no.
Oh, are you primarily? Which one are you primarily? Are you just kind of just both? Okay.
Whatever pays.
Whatever pay. Whatever pay.
I've been acting for like 30 years. I've been doing stand-up
Okay.
for about 22.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, most of the questions I have, they're both comedy orientated and acting orientated. Like I kind of broke it up because I thought Cleveland was more of an actor and you were more of the stand-up comic. But you guys can kind of both answer these questions.
Sounds bueno.
All right, let's do it. We'll start out nice and slow. I always start off with the basic general. How did you get into comedy and acting?
Yeah,
Cleveland.
Me.
Yeah, where did you start? You grew up in Fort Myers, right? The Lee County area.
Yeah,
right?
I grew up in Fort Myers. I was like born near. You guys know where Bennett's is?
Bennett's.
Yeah,
Bennett's.
more or less.
The
yeah.
donuts?
Yeah, the donut place. Yeah,
Downtown?
yeah. Like as a baby and to like 2 years old, I lived like right behind there. I didn't know that until I got older.
So you left.
Well, yeah, it was just like a little town, like a little tiny baby home kind of thing. But I don't know why that's relevant. But no, yeah. So I started acting at 2 years old.
Damn.
I didn't even like.
You did a commercial or some shit? Or?
So like I started doing like the camps and stuff like that. Like my mom, even though like I was 2 years old, she was in arts herself. Like she was been involved in art. Art Fest.
Art
she like
Fest.
helped start Art Fest.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
this
and then
is
like
pretty
later
good.
on, she like broke apart from the group. But like Alliance of the Arts, my mom and like her ex-husband, whatever, they like donated like a shit ton of money, and that's why they have like a new theater there, and like they named the gift shop after the last name. So like my mom was in art a bunch, so she got me in like as a kid in a lot of things. So like I was
what's your mom's name?
Tamara
Moore?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. We'll have to Google that shit. Google that net worth, John. You might have to. We might have to capture Cleveland.
I mean, you can fact check me on that shit, but you don't be hitting on my mama. She's an interior designer. She could use business, but that's irrelevant.
Okay. Nice.
I mean, she couldn't not use, but she ain't busy. No, but yeah.
This episode sponsored by Cleveland's mom.
yeah. By the way, interior designing.
No, but she. Yeah, so I was doing acting stuff, and then I got into Kill a Mockingbird when I was 8 at the Florida Repertory Theater. Like they still got my picture up in the.
Wait, to Kill a Mockingbird, the movie?
No, I wasn't born. I don't think I was.
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I was like, what?
No, the play. That was
the play. Okay.
Yeah,
just to clarify, I was like, what the fuck? How old is this nigga? He looks great.
There's 14.
He's 14.
Yeah. No, but I played Dill in To Kill a Mockingbird, and I was just like, I was a bad kid, y'all. Like I was.
You were bad.
Yeah, like I was a bad kid, and one of the things I remember.
You were just acting bad, or you were just.
Oh, I was a good actor, but I was a bad kid.
Ah, okay.
Like that was one of the things that like the director.
That's why they tolerated
Did you
you.
immediately have like the ego associated with like that sort of thing, like the Hollywood actor ego.
No. I've never had that kind of ego, just because like I honestly didn't like that. I knew people who were like that. Oh, I think. No, but yeah, I knew people like that, so I just didn't have that mentality. I was like, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Like I was just a really energetic kid. But no, one time, I don't know if you guys ever heard, he was in the news a while ago, Robert Cassiopa. Yeah, you know. So like he got fired or whatever because of like her like
Sexual harassment.
Yeah, that kind of shit, and like abuse and stuff like that. Or I don't want to quote that. Sexual harassment, that's what he got fired for, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. You always got to put that.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, but he one time sat me down in like the middle of the like other theater.
And touched you?
No. He had my mom in the room, and he just ripped my mom a new one.
Oh, shit.
Yelling about how bad of a kid I was behind set.
Right.
Like, and I was sitting there the whole time, so like it was all mirrored room, and I could see my mom's expression the entire time, and she was just like, "You guys see those cartoons where like the red bubbles up slowly?"
Oh.
Yeah. It was one of those.
It was one of those.
Fuck.
And like, yeah, he said some shit, and I got in the car, and on the way home, my mom didn't say a word, and then we went in the house, or before we went in the house, she was like, "Run," and that's all I'm gonna say about that story.
Fuck! What the fuck? Yeah, nigga.
No, but yeah, so
damn.
No, but comedy, I've been doing comedy for 7 years.
Doing comedy for 7 years. But acting, you would say, is your main thing that you do.
Yeah, that's like the thing that, I've been doing.
Same question for how did you...
Take as long as I did, by the way. 'Cause that took a long time to answer. A lot of segues.
How did I start?
Yeah.
The origin.
The origin of my start. Well, here's the thing. I write this as a joke, but nobody ever finds it funny. But I was 7 years old, and I was walking by the living room, and I pointed to the to the TV. I think they were giving the Oscars, and I was like, "Mom, I want to do that. I want to be on TV." And my mom just looked at me, and she was like, "There's going to be a war. You better do something that's needed in the war if you want to survive." And I was like, "Okay." So I joined Air Force camp. I went to all these. Shut up. I went to Air Force camp. Shut up. I was in ROTC. I had my life. I decided to be a soldier, like a fighter pilot.
Like a little in a
era,
war?
No, it was that era of Top Gun. So that really influenced my generation.
Gotcha. Right.
And so it was easy
Tom
for her to
Cruise.
manipulate me. My mom is like this. Oh God, we need another podcast just on her. But let's just say she's bipolar, crazy. But so, you believe your mom. You believe your parents tell you, right? So she was like, "There's gonna be war." So in my head, there's gonna be war. But I lived through a really bad time in Philly. So I used education to get out. Like I left.
Yeah.
I went to college. I went to Penn State, and there I got into the same thing. I was gonna graduate, become I was gonna graduate. I was gonna be a fighter pilot, or what do you call it? Just a sergeant once you graduate. And my first class was an algebra class. I'm trying to get some breath because I'm like dying of heat here. My first class was an algebra class. I walked in. I completely failed the class.
Oh shit.
And then, but the second class I took was a theater class. So I walked in, and it was like angels sang to me. Like it really came back
it spoke to you.
what I wanted to do. And I said, I can't. This is what I want to do. My mom didn't talk to me for 2 years. Probably the best thing that ever happened.
Would you like some water? You say you're dying of heat. You like some water?
No, I have that. Yeah.
Oh, you guys like okay. All right, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Continue.
I'm dying of heat.
Yeah. Well, me and John have gotten used to it. So like, what heat?
I'm fainting. So, but anyway, I went into college. I fell in love with theater. About 2.5 years in, I was starving. So I said, I gotta leave.
Starving artist.
A starving artist. I was a starving college student.
Yeah. Just transitioned.
I went straight to New York. I was like, I'm going to New York then. I'm just going to go to New York. I'm going to make it in acting. I know what I'm going to do.
Place B, right?
Absolutely.
For acting, yeah.
Was there for like 3 months. Didn't work out. I got sick really bad. My mom literally picked me up in New York from Philly. I get back to Philadelphia, and I just start acting. I got a lot of commercials. People would recognize me as the pregnant lady on the bus.
Wow.
Like I got this commercial or whatever. I was everywhere. They were like, what you have? And I was like, a check.
Check from this baby.
I actually did. Because I was known for this pregnant teenager or whatever. I mean, at that time, I was still really young looking. And so I was pregnant. They were doing a shoot. We were doing, I think, the Spanish version of it.
How old were you at the time?
I'm 47.
No, how old were you back
at
then?
that time?
Yeah.
Like 20.
20? Okay.
Like 20.
Damn.
21. And so here I am. I'm outside. They're doing the, we're video. They're like, "Oh, break." I go outside. I need a cigarette. I'm outside smoking with this prosthetic belly.
Yeah. And people are like,
I'm sitting outside with this prosthetic belly. Most of the clinic had been closed. It was a big clinic.
yeah.
They closed it, but people didn't know that, so they were walking up. One lady walks up with her daughter, and I'm just sitting out there, just trying to puff on as many cigarettes as fast as I can. We got like a 15-minute.
Philly, it's cold.
I'm killing this baby.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and she's smoking, and the lady comes up, she's like covering her daughter, what the, and I'm looking at her like, what? And then stupid me, I just smack the belly, like this isn't even real.
Yeah.
And the lady just freaks out.
Oh no!
Basically,
It's like
she
double kill.
Laughed. She didn't go into.
It's like a zombie movie. Like you gotta shoot him in the chest and
I was
headshot.
slapping the belly. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God! Like she knows it's a prosthetic. Like she knows they're
Yeah,
recording in here. Like
yeah.
she knows I'm an actor. She did. It was hysterical. But it was in just doing that. Like I got the bug. Of course, I always had it. And it's only become more prevalent now. Stand up. I didn't start till years later. I got a ticket. And I couldn't afford it, and I got a postcard in Orlando from the Improv Comedy Traffic Schools.
Oh wow.
I thought somebody was gagging me. I was
Right.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's not funny. I
Yeah.
can't afford this.
Yeah.
So I called up and I said, is this real? And the lady was like, yeah, you just pay for the, and I said, who teaches that? And she said, stand-up comics. I go, that'd be a great job. I actually need a job. Are you hiring?
Yeah.
And they were like, are you a stand-up comedian? And I said, no, but I'm funny.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you got to be a stand-up comedian. And I said, I don't know what hit me or what came in my head. And I said, wait, do you guys teach Spanish classes? And she was like, no, actually, they were talking about that. Let me get the manager on the phone for you.
The bilingual finesse.
The
yeah.
ace under the sleeve.
Yeah.
I use that when I can, girl. Boy, I'm sorry. And so then they gave me I got on the phone with the guy, and he was like, I said, listen, I am not a stand-up comic, but I can translate your class
Right. Yeah.
in Spanish.
Yeah.
I'll teach that if you let me teach some of your English classes. Teach me how to do your stand-up, whatever that is. And so that's how it started. And I fell in love with it. But I wasn't doing stand-up. I was improving for 4 to 8 hours with crappy material. Like I had to make traffic funny. And it wasn't easy. And now I couldn't possibly do that. Like if I don't write my joke, I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
But it's been a long process. I mean, if we can, that takes another 4 podcasts.
Four podcasts. You got a long fucking ass history.
No, but I got a long history in this business, and I don't have a lot to show for it. But I have been. I've been kind of just in the underground, just learning what.
Did
to do.
you? Okay. Fuck. In your 3-month stint when you were in New York, what year were you in
That
New York?
was 90. No, I'm sorry, 80. 89, 90, 91.
Damn, so you might have ran into the top legendary comics right now when they were just starting in that 3-month stint.
I would have.
Yeah.
But I wasn't after comedy. I didn't even understand how to do. We were just talking about that in the car.
Right.
About the fact that I didn't know ever how to write a joke.
Yeah.
I would just listen, and to me it became like music.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until later I was like, oh, people are writing stuff.
Yeah.
you gotta write.
Yeah,
stuff
you gotta really write shit down.
And you gotta put it in format.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And
It's very difficult.
If you're really a comic, a comedian, I
mhm.
saw that somewhere. A comedian is somebody that is funny.
Yeah.
A comic is somebody that's trying to pretend to be funny or trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
A comedian.
In Cleveland, you went to Chicago, right? After you graduated
nice.
from
Yeah.
So similar thing. You graduated and you went to college. So you also went to college, Chicago for the arts, right?
So I never went to college.
Oh, I thought you did. I
went
could have
to
sworn.
Second City.
Second City. Okay, what's that?
Well, it's like a comedy college,
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
but it's not a
Right.
college.
It's not a college.
It's a training center. It's called Second City Training Center.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, no, you take like I took classes in improv, A through E, graduated. I met.
It's like an upgraded clown school.
It's a large
It's a
upgrade.
classier clown school.
Classier
Come
clown
on,
school,
man.
yeah.
So the Second City is where all the first people from SNL came from.
Oh,
Those are
okay,
great,
gotcha.
yeah.
Interesting.
I can't. I think it's Del Close. That's his name. He was the one who started the Second City. Started like improv in general. Del Close. I hope I'm getting that name right.
So it's not for 4 years.
Say it again.
Is it not for 4 years? Since it's not a like traditional.
I mean,
college,
you can be there for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Like it's never ending. It's all on what you want to learn, and then like once you've learned it, then it's kind of like okay, either you can like try to be on their team, like try to be in Second City's team, and that's how like a lot of people from like SNL nowadays have like gotten on. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of Chris Redd.
Chris Redd, no.
He's like on he's on Saturday Night Live. He just won a Grammy, I think.
I think it would be Emmy.
Emmy
for TV, right?
Emmy. Yeah, my bad. I'm bad with that shit. Yeah, him and Kenan Thompson just like
they both went to Second City.
No. Well, I don't think Kenan Thompson went to Second City.
No, because he was in like Nickelodeon. He was in Nickelodeon. He's been famous. Oh, that. So yeah.
No, but yeah. So Chris Redd was on a show I produced.
Wow.
Before he went to Saturday Night Live.
So you put him on?
No.
You put that nigga on, so you should be getting that Emmy.
No.
You should call him, Chris.
No.
You didn't mention me in your accolades. You mentioned God, your mom, your dad.
No, it was I produced a show for a year and a half in Chicago called The Clever Comedy Show, and it was a variety comedy show, improv, stand up, sketch, and then music, and you know whatever the fuck else people wanted to do there. But it was just a lot of.
But that's a nice place to. I mean, Second City's that if you're gonna do comedy, that's where you go.
That's where you go.
That's where you.
Okay, this is dope. Yeah,
if you
I've
think
never
you got
heard
the
of
gonas to do it, because I mean, that's like what's a good comparable to that? What's a good analogy for Second City to a comedian?
Is it like Berkeley? You know, Berkeley College of Music. Berkeley is like the highest level of like music schools you can go to. Is Second City kind of like that just for comedy?
Yeah. I mean, what's that other one that they did for fame for dance? Juilliard.
Juilliard. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's like
gotcha.
the Juilliard.
Juilliard stand-up.
Damn.
It's just, I mean, it's way more lax. It's not like it doesn't cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars to go.
Okay. And how long were you there for?
I was there for a year and a half.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I did the improv, the writing, and then stand-up.
How high of a level of art snobs are at Second City? Is everybody kind of like how many like just people just sucking their own dicks of how good they think they are or they're going to be?
I'd say about half of them.
God damn, half the school?
No. Could get balls deep.
Oh wow,
like
okay.
On that as far as, because like half of them are snobbish dicks. Not gonna lie about that.
Right.
You know, I've met them. To a certain degree, you kind of accept it because like they're there. But most of the snobbish dicks are like on a higher level than you.
Yeah.
So like they, I guess to themselves have a reason for being a snobbish dick. But
where there really a lot of funny people there.
Or generally, really. Okay,
look, there's a
good.
lot of like they have a 48-hour improv marathon kind of thing.
Wow.
It's just 48 hours of pure improv.
So people just randomly come in and come out and just do.
Do you have like people that sit on a bench for 15 minutes pretending they're in traffic?
You know what? Second City teaches you a shit. You learn improv, and improv is so complex that you guys, I could sit here for
Speaking
hours.
of improv and acting, like what are some of the me and John are mainly like music people or whatever, and more so I think I'm more on the comedy side, and I think what's your second thing that you're into besides music?
Math.
Math. Not an art at all, but
see, my origin story is very similar to Marianette's, and it's I took the algebra class, and then that was it.
Yeah, that was it. It's like it's the opposite. But no, like, what are some of the core things that you look for in like good acting that you notice? Because I know with me and John, like, whenever we go to a show, for example, like, now that I know what an out of tune guitar sounds like, if one of the strings are out of tune, I can't ignore it in my mind, and I notice it. Like, what are some of the things that just people who both of you went to a second city for acting and improv and stuff like that. You've been acting for a while. What are some noticeable things that you don't think other people would notice when people are acting?
I'm gonna let you take this one first.
All right. I guess movement.
movement.
and
Okay.
foremost, right? Like blocking. I'm all about. I've directed as well, so I watch always what you're doing with
Oh,
your body,
okay,
where
okay.
you're putting yourself. So movement with the body, movement, and we were just talking about inflections and intonations. Somebody that's really just monotone, you don't want to listen to for a certain amount of time. So characters, or just intonations. I don't know. I have a really good eye too, an ear for somebody that can't act. And if them in a movie or a play or anything, if they suck even just a little bit, it's off.
You can just feel it. Just
I
like how
won't
we
even watch the rest of it.
just we hear a string out of tune, we're like, fuck.
That's it.
Like,
I
you just
can't
want to,
do that.
like,
You don't wanna-
tell him, like, yo, stop
and
the
fix it.
music.
Yeah. You can't do that with
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go up and just
Yeah,
tune
you
the
tune
guitar
it.
string.
You
Ah.
can't fix the. Yeah, you can't fix the guy. Like, you got to get rid of that too. That's the only thing you can
It's a
do.
movement. Okay, what would you say?
Well, so like I'm gonna agree with everything she just said to start off with, but to add to that, emotion is such an important thing to me when it comes to acting. Just because like I've always been what you would probably consider an over emotional person.
when
like,
it comes to your acting style,
just myself,
just yourself.
Like
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I would cry for hours for no fucking reason.
Oh, so you were ready for acting?
Yeah, and then
this nigga was breeding for acting. Golly.
And I got beat up a lot as a kid too. So
Wow.
like, you know, and bullied. So I'd go home and I'd
Yeah.
just cry my eyes out, and then
Yeah.
like I'd have to fake being in a good mood every day, and it just like,
So you were literally groomed for acting.
He's got a lot of angst to pull
Wow.
from.
Yeah.
So
So acting was like, oh, this is what I normally do.
Natural.
It's
It was-
natural.
It was
yeah.
the only thing I've ever had that was a constant. Besides,
Yeah.
like my mother. We have a thing we call new Tamra and old Tamra, and that's where they switch. But yeah, my acting has been like the thing that has always been with me since day one. But yeah, emotions, feelings. If I see an actor on stage who's saying all the right things,
Right.
who's acting the right way, who, you know, I guess can fluctuate their voice to sound like I really do care about. But if they don't, like if you haven't been there, in my opinion, it's very hard for you to act like you've been there.
Yeah.
You know, like
I have a director who says that honestly, character acting or anything that has to do with emotion or a lot of emotion, like young people really don't have anything to draw from because you got to almost go through it.
Oh, you got to go
do
through
it.
the shit. So good character actors, you got to be a little bit older.
Go through it
and
to do
go
it.
through it and do it.
I don't want to say you have to be older, but yeah.
Is that why-
It's Cleveland's like, I'm a main character
I've-
actor.
I've-
Character actor 101.
You had a really hard job.
I did have a very hard childhood. This shit's
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot of passion.
Is that why Leo didn't get his Oscar till he was 40? Like, is that the reason?
That's it. I never.
I feel like you should have gotten it a long time ago.
With which movie you think?
Well, I mean, Titanic.
Absolutely.
He should have got it with
He should've
Django.
gotten
I
with
think.
Titanic.
I thought.
Django, yeah, he was pretty.
He was fucking
Eating
baller.
Gilbert Grape. Didn't he win? for
Yeah,
something like that?
Okay. I think you only have one supporting actor. You can't have two. And then technically, Leo was only in it for the last 30 minutes, but
Yeah.
he just fucking just
He killed
stole
that shit.
every
Stole it, man.
goddamn scene. It was like
Since then-
fuck.
since then
But you
I've
have to
been
give it to
watching
the
it.
other dude because he was actually in the movie the entire time. So it's only fair. So let me ask you guys. So how do you interpret writing on a page with your like physical acting, especially when it's like when you're just in the background? Because like, all right, so me and John are having a scene. You guys in the background. You're not just like standing there. Like, how do you properly interpret like a scene? Okay, first, how do you properly interpret a scene when you're not saying anything? And second, how do you interpret writing when you're the main person? Like you don't know. You just know the
extra,
the
guy
extra.
that's in the back. Well,
yeah.
it's just
First one,
acting
yeah.
as
How do
natural.
you act as an extra? How do you properly just
Well, it's always because you can't really speak, right?
yeah.
And you have to kind of engage.
But you
each other.
can't just be like
I always watch extras in movies, by the way,
Yeah.
to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll catch both of them like looking at each other and both talking at the same time.
yeah.
So I'm like, no, that doesn't. You know, like,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like you gotta at least make it seem as if though you're really like
So yeah, no, that's
or interacting. It's usually
It's not
depends on who you're.
hard.
It's not. It's usually just.
I
depends on who
I
you're
see
talking
movies in all the time, or like I'll just be dying laughing at extras in the background. Like I'll just be like, this nigga is just like Okay, like there's a lot of movies are like I like a lot of what do you call it? Like Marvel movies and shit like that. So it's just, like literally it's mad CGI. It's just a green screen that they're behind, right? So I'll just see like a motherfucker. He's just looking at probably like the boom mic that's like right over, like right in front of his face. He's just like,
those people do more acting than the actual actors.
yeah.
There's more acting for them than the actual
Yeah,
actors.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so how do you properly be an extra in the background? Like, what's the right moves to do? What do you think?
I think you have to know everything about the scene for one.
Right.
Like I feel like sometimes they don't tell you everything.
They just leave you.
Well, no, I'm serious. Like I've done some
Out in
extra
the
work,
woods,
and sometimes they don't tell you everything. They're just like, all right, so they're gonna walk out here, and you're supposed to walk over there, or they're gonna come up here, do a big speech. Everybody's supposed to be super happy.
Right.
Like they don't tell you the in-depth things of what they're going to say, and sometimes I feel like they do that on purpose. That way you can actually
act naturally.
can act naturally and react.
Correct. Right.
To
and that's the secret, right? It's just to react versus act.
Exactly. But if you have to do the take like 30 fucking times, and you're like having to, be like, oh my god, that's the first time I've ever seen that big thing before.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like,
I did an extra with Medea Goes to Jail in that movie with
What, you really?
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
see you in the scene?
Actually, I'm
Hey,
not
wait,
even-
are you in the jail with Medea in the
Yes,
back? Okay.
I'm not even just an extra.
Wow.
I actually got a little part. I am one of the guards.
Oh, damn, nice.
But I was in there. I was with all the extras because
Yeah.
it wasn't like a huge part.
Yeah,
I was an extra with just a little extra, right?
Right.
So, but we were in the prison. We were literally in the prison creating this movie.
oh my god.
Oh, sorry, it's a
It was a
cat.
cat.
Yeah, just some pussy.
A fucking cat came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just a pussy. But they had all of the extras. There might have been about I don't know, about 150, all in the one part of the jail. Like the
Oh.
heat in there.
Oh,
the
yeah.
amount of people were like, it
Yeah.
was insane.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound gross, but I was literally doing the role. So they're, action, and they're shooting, and all of a sudden, I get my period.
Oh, like for
Like,
real?
I get my period
Wow.
running down my leg.
Oh.
As like they're trying to shoot. The camera's like, and I was like, this is not good. This is not bueno.
Wow, you had a bloody
I
Marianette.
had a Bloody Mary at the jail.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it was kind of cool because then I got to, go and hang out with all the real actors. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay, are you okay? Are you
Yeah.
all right?
Wait a minute. Okay, I don't mean to be gross, but was it visible, or was it like a
Wait,
little bit
is
hidden?
it in the scene? Or you just like it'd be
No,
like zoom
obviously
in?
they cut that shit, but like
If any females are listening,
Okay,
right? Like,
okay.
and it's when it comes, it just comes, right?
Yeah, yeah, right,
I wasn't
right.
ready. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It just.
I didn't know if you had like some tight pants on underneath the
No,
the
I
loose
had some loose
guard.
khakis, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
that thing, I just felt, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And they're and he's literally walking by me. There's Medea walking by me in the scene,
Yeah.
and then just goes,
Hello.
It's like,
Hello.
"Hello."
A 6'5" grandma
Oh
who's
my god! By the way,
built
he's
like a linebacker.
hysterical. He's really funny. He's
Yeah.
very professional, but because he runs behind the scenes, obviously, as well as
Yeah.
trying to perform. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
he like directs, writes, produces, like he does everything,
He's-
and the main actor.
He's crazy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
insane.
he's
He's huge.
fucking-
He's just a huge.
That's what I
man.
aspire to be. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
Right?
Be Tyler
And
Perry.
And a multitude. Like
Yeah.
I do
A
it all. Like,
multitude,
I
yeah,
like
do
to
it all.
produce, direct. I like to do it all.
Yeah.
I don't believe that there's a lot of money in some unless you become ultra.
Just doing
famous.
one specific thing.
Absolutely, you
Yeah.
gotta keep. There's no
You gotta-
more
you kinda-
one egg in the basket type of thing. A bunch of eggs in one basket.
I mean, that's the thing with music nowadays as well. Like back in, especially with rap, like back in the days that you, all you needed was just the rapper and then the producer and then maybe like the hype man, and you could just have that little trio or whatever. And then maybe a couple of rappers could produce whatever. But like literally, like if you're a rapper right now and you can't produce and maybe do some engineering and do some songwriting and shit, like you're just not gonna make it. You gotta be like at least three different things. Like back in the day, you could just be a rapper, you could just be a writer, you could just be a producer. Like, but now you gotta be everything.
Now
Like-
you gotta be on Dr.
yeah.
Phil.
Yeah,
I
Dr.
gotta
Phil.
be,
Yeah,
you gotta be your own.
Yeah.
Your own telemarketer, your
Bad
own
baby.
marketer, your own.
Listen, I find offense to that. Cash me outside. How about that?
Cash me outside.
How about that? So so how do you? Okay, so beyond just you being an extra, how do you as the person who's saying the line, like you just have the line on the blank piece of paper, how do you properly, like, the scene or whatever, how do you properly you used to say emoted and just say the line so it like delivers.
He always
it
likes
makes
to
sense.
masturbate before he
That
does
is
his
not-
lines, so no.
That is not
Bro, can I
true.
tell you, bro? Can I tell you, as a person who went through 4 years of college or whatever, 5 years of college. Let's be honest.
I ain't finna lie. I do it. but I
Yeah,
ain't
no,
do
no,
it
no,
right before.
no. Right before I study, I always masturbated so I could focus on studying.
That's a smart
That's
move.
like
Yeah.
an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Or they're not
Yeah.
supposed to. Actually, they're not supposed to. Or
Oh yeah. You want to have like the energy,
Pimped up.
that pimped up.
right. So
You
do
start
they?
grabbing some more asses, or you're like tackling and shit. Like yeah,
I do it before I go to work. I
yeah,
ain't finna lie about that.
yeah. You do it before work.
I'm gonna rip its dick off.
There's an invasion.
No, but
Yeah. How do you? Yeah.
How do you do it? I mean, so it's weird. I envision everything as a whole, even though like if I have the tiniest part, I envision everything as a whole, and I like see.
Wait, are we still talking about the scene or masturbation?
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Yeah. Yeah. Bring back the comeback. I feel you.
A comeback. Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
All
that's
right.
great.
No,
Gotta
but like
slip it in there.
you got-
It's a comedy hour.
Giggity.
John's Closet. John's Closet, episode 22.
Talk about cum. Cum closet. No, but I like I said, I envision it as a whole, and for one, you 100%, unless you are the writer, you can't know what the writer,
That's what I'm
wants.
saying.
So
yeah. As an actor, you have to interpret it.
you,
like,
you have to
Yeah.
interpret it, and that's where having real feelings, actually going through things,
Yeah.
like not quote unquote acting
Yeah.
all the time. That's where that comes into play, because then, you're taking the lines from the script and you're putting yourself, you're putting a persona, you're putting putting into it, and then whatever comes out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you try again.
Mm-hmm.
And you just try until it hits, and when it hits, you got it,
You just
baby.
know
Well,
it.
you're at the mercy of when you are an actor and you're just taking somebody else's lines, not like exactly what he said. You don't know what the writer intended, but you also don't know what the director intends either, because
Yeah.
he can do something that the writer wanted, but the director's like, meh.
Nah, fuck it. That doesn't. I don't feel
Right.
like
There's so many
it.
shifts and changes. Like, I mean, as a writer, I want to be able to write stuff and not have it touched or recreated.
Yeah.
But
Since you've
That is-
done acting, you've done some writing too, right?
Mhm.
And you said that you've done some directing. Which one is you feel like you get the most like you try to like, all right, I'm gonna really like put my best effort towards this thing, like, because I think it's a challenge. Like which one's most challenging for you?
I think the comedy, man.
Comedy. Okay.
Because writing, I can write all day. I could just
Yeah,
vomit.
just-
I
yeah,
call it vomit.
yeah,
I literally
right.
have a digital
Mhm.
on my phone,
It's
on
not
my
that-
laptop. I write
Mhm.
all day.
Mhm.
But not all my stuff is funny.
Right.
Some of my stuff is inspirational. I'm very a little psychic and very spiritual, and so I get messages too. So that's not all
Yeah.
gonna fit on the stage.
Yeah.
But for comedy is the hardest, because if you want to really do it, if I want to be respected as a comedian, I gotta write for real.
You got to write it down, and
And
then
it's not
also
easy.
you really don't know if anything's funny until you say it a couple of times.
What is it that they say? 10,000 hours for
Yeah.
each joke or something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Each joke?
Stand-up comedy is
It's
really
not
serious.
it's not funny, but it's really, truly, like he
Yeah.
himself. We were just saying that in
Yeah,
the car. He was
dude.
like, "Okay, I got that joke. It's coming along. It's getting there."
I mean, this is not a stereotype. This is true. Like at least in stand-up comedy, motherfuckers have been doing the same hour for like probably like the last for 10 years.
Absolutely.
Because it's so difficult to come up with like
People
new
don't understand
material
how hard it is to
and
come up with
how
new stuff,
and
yeah.
how to. I see it in the same way as like like some of the old rockers. They only
Oh, yeah.
really have like one really good
Great
album, but
song.
they can tour on that shit forever.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to make no other good album.
Yeah, 'cause
All
the
the other
song
albums
has
are
The
irrelevant.
song has a ceiling.
Yeah.
When you create a joke, I've
Mhm.
written jokes that are 20, 25 years old or
Yeah.
longer, and they're completely different now.
Yeah.
But it's the same original joke,
Yeah.
maybe concept, but it's grown, it's matured with me. Or
Yeah.
you get tired of saying the same stuff over
Yeah.
and over too. But
Yeah. That's a good point because a song has its clear clap.
It
Once you
has-
make the song, you can't
It's
really
done.
alter
You
the
got a
song. A
roof on
joke
it.
you can like mature it and grow
yeah,
it.
it can keep growing.
yeah.
Or you
Update
write
it.
more jokes off of that joke. Like
Yeah.
I've had so many babies off of my jokes.
Yeah.
Just baby jokes off of the
Mhm.
baby. Yeah, it just keeps. It keeps giving. It keeps giving.
You gotta throw a baby away, you know.
Today.
With the bathwater, you have to throw a couple babies. I haven't thrown anything away. I've got books and books and books of writing. I feel one day I'll just kind of go back and start looking. But I am always trying to come up with new stuff too.
How does an actor elevate bad material or bad writing?
How do you elevate it?
Yeah, how do you make bad writing a bad script? Like, how do you get the most out of it when you're like,
walking away?
walking away? Because I see a lot of bad. I'll see I'm into this website called Double Toasted or whatever. They do like a lot of movie reviews, and they'll talk about like, damn, the writing is super super bad, but the actor did the most out of this shitty writing.
Well, in my opinion, it's because they improv it.
Just improv it.
Like,
okay, that's what improv kind of.
You get
facts.
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta make this into a rose.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get there?
Like that Tiffany Haddish, all right? So she does this movie,
Right.
and the writing
Girls
is
Trip.
kind of caca. Really, seriously. If you
I
just sit there-
never actually watched the movie.
The writing is kind of very
Yeah.
It's very elementary. It's very basic. But her character, she is so. I mean, they let her improv a lot of those scenes. It's her just bantering.
Who are we talking about?
Tiffany Haddish in Girls Trip.
Have you seen?
You
No.
You haven't seen that?
I just saying.
You know of Tiffany? You probably know of Tiffany just because Kat and Kevin Hart been having a fight.
Yeah, they were in like night school recently.
Kat was saying that she
was
doesn't deserve to have that role.
Yeah,
because
some
she
shit,
jumped over so many other female comics that have been in the business forever.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but Tiffany Haddish has been in the scene for a long time too, right?
But here's what Kat says,
Yeah,
and I appreciate her hustle.
Yeah.
But the woman doesn't have an hour's worth of funny.
Yeah.
She doesn't have jokes written.
Yeah.
So then the real comics that do write,
Yeah.
that's what we look at. Because I
Yeah.
do write. So I look at her and I go, you ain't writing. You're just playing around.
Now, I have a question. So this is kind of in lieu of like, this is kind of like always a hot topic in comedy. But like, as far as plagiarism and how often.
Oh,
that
it's a
is.
good.
That's
it's
a
good.
big topic.
Yeah.
Have you ever either experienced or witnessed someone either plagiarizing your work or someone else's work? That wasn't like super mainstream. Like everyone knows, Mencia was like,
Yeah. A number one like example of plagiarism.
Yeah, no, everybody knows it, right.
And
It's
then
your stuff, right?
Though
then,
he's recently bounced back. Like I see him doing some tours and stuff like that.
That's
and,
because he's touring all over the. He's touring in every bar and
Yeah.
anything he can. He'll do
Yeah.
it. He'll do anything. He
Yeah.
just wants the money.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you feel about plagiarism with comedy? Because comedy is so weird. Because there's no copyright.
There is. You can copyright.
Can you copyright?
Yeah,
Okay.
It costs like a couple dollars, but you can copyright.
Okay,
the
when you
joke.
have a special.
No, you can copyright each joke you write. You
Oh,
can
okay.
actually copyright them.
Okay. Can you? Okay. All right. But
can.
yeah, how do you feel about the weirdness of comedy and like the plagiarism and stuff like that? Because how do you know that Amy Schumer even had I remember
When they were saying she was stealing the jokes.
stealing some jokes from Dave Attell, a couple other comedians or whatever, and they had like clips, like side by side clips. You literally look up on YouTube.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and like from her leather special, which I thought was bad. Like I didn't really like it, but it's like almost there. But I'm like, damn, it does seem.
You're asking us
like
what we
plagiarism.
would do.
Yeah.
Or I guess, have you experienced
it? Yeah.
What have you done, or what would you do if you haven't? And then, I guess more or less, like, do you have any general thoughts or opinions? I mean, yeah, plagiarism is bad, but are there specific cases where you're like, that's not really the comedian's fault, it's the writer's? Like, for example, when like Amy Schumer has like a sketch bit, it's not just her writing the joke; she also has other writers.
So that and you get that is dangerous territory, because now we hired writers or whatever, and that person remembered a joke from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Brings it to the table. Now she says it. Now she gets blamed. It's not funny because they take it in comedy.
Yeah.
They hurt you.
Yeah. Comedians take it really serious.
They hurt. Yeah, because
it takes so long.
Because it takes so long to make that joke happen. Now, do we have similarity of thought? Oh my God, we're all connected. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I just drew something yesterday, and I looked on the internet, and it was almost identical. Like, there's no way, right? It just comes out. But in comedy, they'll beat your ass.
Yeah.
They'll beat your ass.
What I have to say about that is, no, I have not been plagiarized, but if somebody does plagiarize my material, they will catch these hands.
Catch these hands.
In my car, because you ain't getting away from that shit.
I try to write I write a lot of analogies. Like I wrote one of my best jokes. It's been with me for a really long time. I'm like, my mom hates when I date. You know, she tells me, when you date, you must turn into the Statue of Liberty because you only attract the hungry and the poor.
Savage.
Yeah, and it's just like, there's always somebody crawling up in your dress, but there's never one to pay for those little souvenirs. That's what she calls my kids. So
Your
that
kids.
has been like, that's such an original thought that if somebody tries to plagiarize that, which somebody did try to.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so how did
Somebody
you
did try to.
how did you react to that? Like,
Well, she was online, and I was like,
she just comment like, "Hey."
she's a comic, yeah, and she's out in LA now. And I saw her put.
Marianette knows her location. Knows what she look like.
You
It's
don't
like,
write that type of joke.
Yeah, yeah,
and then
right.
That's not a type of like something that you just.
it's oddly Pacific type
It's
of
really
joke.
specific, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
what
it's
I was trying to
Pacific
do.
because it's in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in LA now. Yeah.
Golly. All right,
She ain't
yes.
getting anywhere with it.
Yeah.
It's not as funny as mine. Like, she didn't finish the joke, but it's so similar. I was like, girl, you watched my video and you grabbed it.
Bro, that is extra insulting when you seal the joke, but you still don't do any.
You don't
do
even
it
do it
justice. You don't even finish it.
She didn't even do it justice. I'm like, if
extra
you're gonna steal it-
insulted.
I don't know. I'd be really insulted if it killed.
Yeah.
So then I'd be
Yeah.
like, that
What
was
do
my
you do?
laugh.
Damn.
But that's happened.
Damn. It was like you hating it, but like, damn.
That's happened to so
that's
many
a better way to
people.
deliver that joke.
I will tell you one thing though. The comics in the business will watch you if they know if you're plagiarizing. They know if you're hacking, and that's
Yeah.
called hacking, right? If you are a hack, nobody wants to give you stage time.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hang with you.
I like it that way. It forces you to be original.
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you like being shunned.
Shunned, yeah.
Oh no.
No,
Because
they'll
I mean,
call you
because
out.
Listen, we don't
We
want
will
to shame
call you
Sydney.
out.
Because
You know?
music, man, you can just copy anybody. I think the most egregious,
Oh, yeah.
recent example is Designer when he came up with Panda. And he just sounded like Future, and he got the #1 song in the country. People were just bumping Panda all year long.
I
Mind
did
you,
too.
me too. Panda rocks.
How about these guys
Panda.
that sample the really famous songs like
Yeah.
Santana's Maria with like what
Oh.
Rihanna, and now all of a sudden it's double like as famous as the song.
Well, that might partially be due to like, you know, I doubt if you're that big, you're gonna get like copyright strikes like that. Like I don't know if they got permission for the song to begin with.
Oh yeah, they would have to.
Like-
1000% sure.
But like, yeah, that is actually like a hot topic in just hip hop in general because it's so sample heavy, you know.
So it is, especially in hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, that's the origin of hip hop. That's like
Well,
the
yeah.
core of hip hop. It was because in the beginning, right, when they were
Mm.
DJing in the Bronx and shit like that, they would sample old soul samples and stuff like that from the 70s, right? And they would remix it. They would take samples from a soul sample. They would take it from another thing, and they would put some beats to it, and
so
like
there's
they would
been
remix.
plagiarism of music forever.
Oh no, that was a big thing back in the day because sampling,
that's the
what
appeal
it
itself.
that was the appeal. That's how hip hop kind of was born and ushered into a new genre where it was sampling and you were mixing and remixing and bringing old shit into a newer platform.
See-
I think sampling is positive, but as long as we kind of now updated it because of the copyright where you actually have to pay the motherfuckers who you're originally sampling from, so that's all taken care of.
I hate when they ruin a good song.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's okay, it was a great song, and now you sampled it, and now you ruined
Yeah,
it.
that's my thing. Like you better use that good ass song
Ever start
sample.
hearing you start hearing the sample, you're like, oh yeah, and then
So-
you're like, no.
You sample Michael Jackson, like, yo, dog, you
the
better.
thing is, there are
Crush it.
there are like copyright attorneys, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That literally look for underground hip hop tracks that, like, you know,
Yeah.
broke hip hop artists that are just trying to sample songs.
Yeah.
You know,
Your dreams aren't even formed yet. We're gonna break those things.
I know, like if you're on the come up and you're just like, okay, I'm finally getting a decent following in the local music scene, and they find a specific sample that's used in another song, they will go ahead and try to represent that other artist or something, no matter how, like, sometimes it's really obscure too, and they will nail you with some sort of copyright lawsuit, or like, you know, or try to reach some sort of immediate settlement of like a few $100 or something or whatever. And
What's legal sample? I was reading, I thought it was like six seconds.
I guess I'm not
6
sure.
to 8 seconds before you're legally binded to pay copyright.
I'm not sure.
Just a couple seconds.
Does that count if you have like a 2-second sample and then like you repeat that over and over again?
I think I don't know. I'm not sure.
Right,
This
if you
isn't
loop it over and
6
over.
seconds. It's 30
Yeah.
times.
It's
Let's by the way, let's add to this conversation. None of us are attorneys, right? None of us.
Yeah, none of
No.
us.
Yeah,
I know
no.
a few.
Don't take our advice.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
take our
take it.
advice.
Yeah.
We are speculating.
We're trying to find out ourselves.
So I wanted to ask you guys. What's your opinion? Okay, right now in Hollywood, we're all about diversity, and there's a big topics of like say, whitewashing right now that's going on.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, I know you're very familiar, Cleveland Moore,
Yes.
as a white male.
I hate it.
You're the
sometimes,
main
man.
propagator
Actually,
of
a lot of
whitewashing.
times. I hate it a lot of times.
What's your general like thoughts on people trying to make everything more diverse, and then the idea of like whitewashing and stuff like that? Like, do you think that they're like just making, you know what, we're gonna have just everybody just diverse, even though it doesn't make any sense that there would be 20 black people in this scene, right? In the 1950s, in the Midwest, in this scene, like it doesn't, you know, like sometimes, at least with my opinion, with diversity.
I
and stuff
like
that.
to keep the color where the color belongs. If you're going to
Yeah.
tell a story where it needs to be told,
Yeah, right.
so that I can get an understanding, because that does teach children, or
Uh-huh.
like if you're being historical,
Yeah,
if you're
that's
being experimentational, like
Yeah.
Hamilton, go for it,
yeah.
because that was.
Yeah, well, a lot of movies are in New York and L.A. New York, especially with New York. New York is one of the most diverse fucking cities in the world. It doesn't make any sense for it just to be all white people in the scene.
You know what? I say then the brown people and the black people need to write more. They just need to
They
write
just need
more.
to
Get
set
your,
more,
you know
yeah.
what? I know that I'm not going to
Expo-
get the roles that I
yeah.
want,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm writing them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll ever
Do
get
for
to
the-
play
do
them,
for
but I'm writing
yourself.
them. For yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you want,
I
if you're an
totally
artist,
agree.
if you're an artist, like I get, that
Yeah.
people are like, oh, there's not enough diversity. There's not.
Yeah.
There isn't enough black. There's not enough Spanish.
Yeah.
It is too whitewashed.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
there's YouTube, and then there's technology, and you can create your own stuff if you really
Yeah.
want to.
In terms of diversity, like like I was saying earlier, I like it when it actually makes sense in historical context. I remember with one movie, it was fuck, I forget the director. Who's the director who did Inception?
Oh God, don't ask me. I don't remember.
Inception.
Martin Scorsese?
No. Who did The Dark Knight?
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. He did the recent war movie. It was where it was with a whole bunch of British people or American people that were storming the beaches in England during World War II.
Normandy.
I think it was Normandy. I think it was based on Normandy, right? And I think he was getting flack because there was just like too many white actors in the scene. There wasn't enough diversity. And I remember I was like, but I believe in the historical context, it was a lot of white people who went out to Normandy to fight those battles. I would say so.
Like
it wouldn't
one or two black people, because they
yeah, like shit like that. And then I mentioned earlier where how like New York, like it doesn't make any sense for any movie in New York just to have all white people, because it's mad diverse, it's mad different type. It should be mostly Hispanic, black, and white people in those scenes, and Asian people. So
I think we're starting to really like.
Yeah.
I know that the new generation, you guys, like the younger generation, sees that. They see that they need more diversity. They love color. They love color in every shape and form.
yeah, I love it. Yeah,
I'm
me too.
happy for this. I'm happy for technology. I'm happy where it's going. It is opening up. A lot of the kids don't care about the race. They really don't. My kids aren't racist. They don't. I mean, of course, but they don't hang around a lot of kids who are. They don't.
It's
not as prevalent. The children aren't as
Nah.
they're not. They're so much more accepting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a lot of the old geezers to just go, man. Take your
Yeah,
stuff,
for
take your
sure.
stuff with
People
you.
relate to good characters first, like at least for me. Like I related to tons of different types of characters, like mostly even cartoon characters, were didn't even anime and shit. Like I related to anime, SpongeBob and shit.
Speaking of anime, I did have a question.
I'm not going to be able to answer any of this.
That's okay. They're speaking of taking garbage and like transforming it into something. So there's an anime out there called Ghost Stories.
Yeah.
And the story behind this is that in Japan it was a huge flop, total flop. The whole premise is that there are a bunch of kids. There's a haunted section of the schoolhouse, or like an old schoolhouse next door to the new school, and there are all sorts of spirits that get awoken or something like that as soon as they sneak into the school or whatever. And then each episode they have a new ghost of the week that they're trying to like seal away forever or whatever. Right? It's a cheesy concept, and you know, it's primarily meant for kids. Or yeah, it was primarily a kid show. But then it flopped, and so the studio was like handed it over to it was probably like Funimation or some other like licensed studio or something, where they could, you know, hire their own voice actors for everything. And they were given 2 rules. Number 1, you don't change the names of the characters. Number 2, keep the plot in order.
Yeah.
And everything else that ensued was like just whatever the voice actors were like. Does it work? Fine, okay. And just they went with it. Like they just went with whatever came to mind, and you like they basically took this trash and turned it into this hilarious, like, or almost mistranslation, if you will.
A parody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things where like they actually took something that was like objectively trash,
Mm-hmm.
and then transformed it into something that was more enjoyable for at least a Western audience.
The Disaster Artist.
Ah,
Yeah. Speaking of comedy and stuff, so how do you guys feel about comedy going towards a more like kind of a more PC and sensitive climate, where you feel like you can't say certain jokes, you can't really like get into certain topics without people like.
I like it.
You like it. You think it's good.
I like it to the degree of, for one, not just any bullshit motherfucking can get up there anymore. You know, not just some
It's a
racist
filter.
old white man.
Yeah,
who's
like
talking about-
hacky.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. All
Okay.
them old,
Those are the positives that people don't like to acknowledge.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
That is a positive.
Yeah.
you get rid of that, and then also.
like Kramer going on stage and just saying the N-word.
Exactly. But you also get, you know, you have to think more outside the box.
Mm.
You know, like, because now if somebody is you can structure your jokes for everybody almost, instead of structuring your jokes for one particular kind of person.
Okay.
I feel like it makes it easier. Like instead of using like he and she, use they and them. You know, that way I honestly try not to mention, you know, whether or not it's a man or a woman in half of my things. I'll just be like this person, just because.
Just neutral.
Yeah, just neutral.
Mm.
Sometimes it makes it funnier. Other times it makes it not funny at all.
Mhm.
We touched on that too, though. Like we touched on almost every topic you're asking, because
I got some good questions then.
we were talking about
Yeah,
it
you're
on
ready.
here. I was
Yeah.
like, you know, you can't. There's only 2 ways to really succeed when you're beginning in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's either doing characters and you're so funny and blah blah blah, and or you're writing really really well. But to just get up there and bash, and nobody knows you, nobody wants to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be somebody before you have an opinion.
Right.
Like first prove you're funny.
Mm.
Get up there and prove you're funny. I'll take it from Carlin all day long. But somebody that's up and coming and just bashing Trump and it's just bashing and bashing and bashing.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, yeah, I heard
don't
this
wanna hear
shit.
it.
I heard this shit
Right.
before. Like, and it's such an easy alley-oop just to
Well,
bash
you
Trump.
would take an hour of my time to give me your opinion.
Yeah,
Like, you have
fuck
no
outta
idea what
here.
I've gone through. I
Yeah.
came here. If I wanted to complain or hear complaining about politics, I'll stay home and watch TV.
I feel that way almost about some like late night shows. Like almost every late night show.
Oh
I
my
see is
God!
just
Like they don't have
It's
to
all
be funny.
politics
It's
bashing.
like
What happened
to
it's
the
pandering.
jokes?
Trevor
Exactly.
Noah.
Yeah.
What happened to
Yeah.
the jokes? I mean, I know Conan. I've been, kind of
Yeah.
following him a little bit more, and he's trying to do a little different. He's trying to get in there and support other arts and artists.
You
and
know,
stuff, but-
I agree with you. I do like the sensitive climate, but for different reasons. For one,
boy.
I like it because it's super easy to build up tension when you're kind of discussing some of these more sensitive topics. As long as you rely and trust in your jokes, like, yo, I got a good like punchline and finisher to bring everybody back. It is like the joke just extra kills because you just can't deny the funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's
the
super
hard
easy.
facts.
Yeah, the hard facts. Like back in the day when you brought up like certain topics and stuff like that, like it was easy because everybody was just gun ho like racism, abortions, and everything.
The true comic or the true comedian,
Yeah.
the true writer
Yeah.
will know how to take a subject that is so touchy,
Yeah,
make fun of it.
make fun of it.
let
Yeah,
everybody make fun of it, and you're still walking around with you made them swallow a pill they
Yeah.
didn't want to. That's a writer. That's a comedian. But
Yeah.
for you to just be like that orange motherfucker, anybody
Yeah.
can say that.
yeah.
But
So
if you can go, wow, you know what? Zoom tan rates are like they're going up. That's a place to invest your money. I'm just saying.
His specific one. He's got to have an own brand.
He probably does. He could probably come up with a brand. He would get people to buy
Oh yeah.
his Zoom tan
You
stuff.
want a Trump stain?
You want a Trump color? This is what you. You
what
don't
you
just
get.
this color anywhere.
why do you think there's a slight disconnect when it comes with female stand-up comics?
Because a lot of them aren't funny.
A lot of them aren't funny. Oh, thank God! Oh, thank God you said something. Oh, thank God. I thought it was just me.
I want to agree.
Smoke on that
Oh, no.
too.
I want to agree and disagree on that.
There's some. Okay, I like Ali Wong's. I like the Wanda
I don't like
Sykes.
Ali Wong.
You know what? I like
I
Ali
don't like Ali
Wong.
Wong.
I like some more.
There's like the one
Monique back in the
I
day
don't
and
like
shit.
Monique.
like Eliza.
What female comics do you like? I only like that's like maybe the three that I kind of pull out. But other than that,
Well,
like
there's like Eliza. I can't ever pronounce
can't
her last
stand
name.
her either.
it's like a S. It's like I don't know. I can't
I
pronounce
like
it.
you know I absolutely give accolades to Wanda Sykes. She writes her stuff.
Yeah. I like Wanda
She
Sykes.
gets into her characters.
Mhm.
Watch. I mean, her shows are
She's hilarious,
like
yeah.
she brings it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, mostly everybody that I mean, I know more kind of if you take it on levels, like not Wanda Sykes level, but not also somebody that's starting. But I know of like two females that one's in Cali, one's in Vegas, and this is like through digging, looking for funny female comics.
Very hard.
They're just not. And it's not the passion, but they're just not funny. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I'm an actress turned comic. I don't have or comedian. I don't have. I shouldn't have a loop, but I've been doing the work of what a comedian should do, and I think that's what's lacking. Female aren't writing.
You
females
went
aren't
to
writing.
Second City, a lot of improv
Did you
comedy
find
and stuff.
good funny females?
Did you find a lot of the girls funny?
You
Be
know what?
honest.
I had one of my favorite teachers. She taught me character work.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Stephanie Anderson. She's got a troupe called Girlish.
Mm-hmm.
It's her and her improv partner, and I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, she's a funny. She's just funny. You know, and I think that it might even be a curse. You know, or it might just be timing. But you know, I think people are born with an ability to be, you know, to break tension, to just always have that energy to want to make people laugh. Sometimes the reason I got into comedy was because I felt so bad that I want to make people happy, and I don't want to see people feel as bad as I
like
felt.
that you say that because I've been having this theory for at least a couple months now that I think some stand-up a lot of stand-up comics are born stand-up comics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, and my one prime example is Cat Williams.
Oh, I
Bro,
love him.
his look,
love him.
his fucking
Yes,
voice,
Yes.
his
He
like animatic,
fast.
bro.
He is so witty
Robin
and
Williams,
fast.
too.
Robin Williams. Like some
Yeah.
motherfuckers, like they just like I don't like it. It wouldn't matter what he was doing, right? He was just going to be funny.
Changing a tire, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, he could just change. Yeah, exactly. He could just do anything.
Change a tire.
Cat Williams,
Anything.
a
I love to listen
billion
to him.
views on YouTube. Just him just changing his tire.
Yeah.
Now first you see here.
See,
Well, first of all, why are you running over? Oh, I'm sorry. This
And
is
it's
terrible Cat
relative.
Williams.
Everybody is. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's comedy is relative. I personally I have a higher standard for what I want to watch. If I'm going to dedicate an hour to watching somebody, I want to see the work.
You know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you up, but like, I want to get back to the like. I feel like whenever I don't watch too much female comics, so this might be an old like view, right? I just generally like I watch a lot of stand-up comedy, but like, well, first of all, there wasn't that many female stand-up comics, and two, a lot of them unfortunately just weren't that funny that were around. There was only a couple like Wanda Sykes and a couple other people. What I found most of the time when I did watch some, it's like I always go back to rap music because I really like comedy, right? And for most part with rap, as a, say most rappers, what you want to do is you don't want to be able to be predictive with your rhymes. Like then I pull a trigger, then I'm gonna shoot every nigga. It's like those type of things. You don't want to be so predictable.
Bro, you threw me for a loop right there.
Yeah. You didn't know I was gonna write trigger with nigga. It's that level whenever I watch a female comic. Like I can know beat for beat what they're going to say next. So it's just I'm already disconnected on that level. And then when they do it, I'm like, and it's not that great, and I'm like, all right, there's no new angle or whatever, there's no new perspective. Like,
you
I
watch
can't.
somebody like Trevor Noah doing a show, and I am just floored. And that's the type of quality I want to put out. It's not just about female or male. It's just that's the type of quality.
Same with the males too. Like,
it just happens to be not enough females in the business, and then not enough of them are funny. So it just seems
funny.
bigger than it is. It's just that 1 out of 1, right?
Well, what I was gonna say, 1 for 1.
We've got like
I'm sorry. We got
in comedy. 30 aren't that good.
That's what I'm saying.
The odds look worse than they are because there's like a billion guys.
What I think, I think that as far as comedy as a career path, this almost seems like it almost seems like every guy seems like they're like, yeah, I could do stand up, and because they have that like,
I want to punch those people.
Oh my god.
Like
me too.
when you have those types of people all like going in, eventually you get a couple that like just stick to the like you're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and like these are the guys that stick, and then they eventually develop something.
And then a couple of those turds fall off the wall. They do find a
voice. Kevin Hart didn't find his voice till years after he started.
Wasn't he like 30 something?
Yeah, he blew up when it was later.
And the guys that would hire him, they saw the change in him. They were like, we saw when he shifted. When he became real. And that's really all that comes down to is like as if though you're bantering, you're getting up there, but the need the need for that the audience has right now, the greed that they want for jokes. They don't have the patience for you to just sit there and go. So
articulate. Yeah. Bro, I'm so glad you said that like the Kevin Hart didn't blow up into a third. Like, bro, people have been telling me since I was like 15 or 16, like, yo, because I like, I've been liking stand-up comedy for such a long time, whatever. So like, naturally, when I wanted to become, like, when I kind of was becoming more of myself, like, I kind of took on this stand-up comic persona with the Dave Chappelle's and a whole bunch of Chris Rocks and shit like that. I would get comparisons to. So like people were like, yo man, you should just be a stand-up comic when you get older. But I know how like hard it is and rigorous. As a young kid, I was like, I haven't even been through enough shit. I haven't even graduated high school. What the fuck am I gonna talk about? Even when I turned 18 and go to New York, what the fuck? Like I wanted to actually live and go through some hardship, go through some pain,
and let me tell you
some living experience.
Now what's happening is because technology's put his hand in there. Now you've got kids that'll go, I want to do stand-up comedy like that guy's doing it, or I'll just go viral. If you don't put in the time, don't go viral. Don't do that to yourself, because you eventually have to go on stage and put up 45 minutes of something.
Oh yeah.
And
it just
because you were able to edit 45 minutes online, and not even 45 minutes. I'm just saying you can have a 20-minute bet, and it could just be great.
The beautiful thing about stand-up comedy is that it has a clear filter. Are people laughing or people not laughing? If you are a musician, people don't really have to pay attention to you. There's a reason why it's called bar music.
Yeah.
Right? People are just getting drunk. They don't give a fuck. Just play the Eagles. Just play Pink Floyd. Just play.
It's sad, though, because to a certain degree, like, when I go to places, like, my friend Cody, he's always like, man, let's stay in there and support. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch somebody string a guitar for, like, 15 minutes and have them look down while their mouth is, like, kissing a mic. Like, I'm not fucking with that. I'm going to go outside, drink a beer,
listen
to
their music.
Yeah. But comedy has a great way of just kicking out all the unfunny people, because like you will know quickly that this is not for you.
You will absolutely.
That's why I don't want to like. I want to actually like. I have written down some things for stand-up comedy. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I've been waiting for the right.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do stand-up anymore.
You just gotta jump, bro. To be honest, it's just like. I mean, I'm not even gonna I've bombed so
yeah.
many. I bombed hard. I bombed so many times. And those bombings, yeah, it makes you want to quit. But like, if you can just get that like itty bitty amount of hope, you can flip that I want to quit into, you know what, man? Like, yeah, I fucked up, but you know who else fucked up? Jim Carrey. You know who else fucked up? Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You know who else fucked up? Kevin Hart. I'm just like them.
Yeah.
But you not. But you get what I mean. It's the positive.
Yeah, I think when I saw you at what was the bar? How? Yeah. And I was enjoying yourself. Okay, this is pretty funny. And I wanted to like throw because I love stand-up comedy. I don't know if anybody else was a stand-up comedy fan, right? The one motherfucker in the room who was kind of heckling and like trying to like he kind of said the ending of your joke before you said it.
Oh, I remember that
bro,
night.
I wanted to throw a beer bottle for you at his. I just wanted to bash his fucking head.
I thought low-key, I thought that shit was funny as fuck.
Oh, I was so mad. I was like, motherfucker, let him tell the goddamn joke.
Yeah, I love hecklers to the degree of you can't control them, A, and B, they're just gonna like you can say something, but you can't really change what they. So it's like having a fish. I can't think of a good analogy to this, but it's like it's they're just fucking there. You just gotta deal with them how you would fuck it. Like
you guys feel like comedy needs to be respected as a art form and artful
I've
and
dedicated
artsy.
22 years to this art form, and again, I say I don't want to do it anymore. But what I've done is, I actually took the art and worked on it, and now I can do it better than a real comic. Because I don't consider myself a comedian. I consider myself an actress
who happens to be funny.
Who
Right.
happened to like bump into that. Right.
Yeah.
I wanted more stage time. That was even more perfect to stay in comedy, because I didn't do the improv for years. I did it for 2. But what made me keep coming back was, I can get a stage. I can get a stage. I can rehearse. I can. But I've put in so much work, and I know how much and how hard it is to put in that work. Now I'm just in it to monetize. Like, now I'm in it for the business.
Okay. That's
Like,
good.
now I'm a brand. Now I want to make money.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't care about the funny out there, like, to be famous. I really now want to just
that's
cash
what's
in on my
happening to a
talent.
lot of these social media funny viral motherfuckers. Like, they were just funny for the moment, right? But after that whole year, you got a whole year. I like to say year and a half where you got to capitalize and actually brand yourself. Most of them don't do it. They're just like, like I just pop out of nowhere. I become viral instantly. I become nobody and then somebody.
There's
They
so
don't-
much work behind
Yeah.
the scenes. There
Yeah.
really is. I appreciate producers and directors and all those guys that are putting in the hours to
Yeah.
really make something happen. I mean, all of this. You will finish this podcast and you'll have how many hours of having to edit, and people don't see all the work you put in.
he's like, I'm actually just gonna put this right online.
Just
It's like
streamline
5 hours,
it.
Just stream in 5 hours.
Actually, we've actually taken some more time to do some more careful edits. You know, anytime there's like a big punchline, we like.
Tonight, be able to grab it. Yeah.
They add some sound effects.
Yeah. No, there was one where like someone referenced Joe Button, XNVIX's episode.
Yeah.
And literally he goes like, "You can't be happy," and then I just took 3 layers and detuned them so it sounds like, "You can't be happy."
How cute.
And so like, you know, as soon as something like someone gets the reference, it's just like boom, right there in your face, just, you know, that just super loud volume, just you can't be happy.
It's work, man. It's
Since you guys are both super into acting, I've always wondered this. Like, okay, when you become a famous actor, especially on a famous TV show or whatever, famous TV show, movie, whatever, you sometimes you get kind of like you just get into this hole of like just becoming that character versus who you are in real life.
Method?
Yeah, or not even method, but like you're the character that becomes more famous than who you really are, and people will kind of associate most
Like Captain America, Iron Man.
Yeah, or a better, or Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers don't even know his real name.
Yeah.
How about Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman.
That poor guy.
Ooh.
How do you
Or
properly?
fucking from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that what is it?
Yeah, Carlton. Yeah,
He
Carlton.
cannot get another job.
He cannot. How do you get yourself out of that hole when you become so associated with a character versus yo motherfucker? I'm not fucking Carlton.
You become
First of all,
Chris
that's not
Pratt.
my goddamn name.
That's what the secret is.
I
You
don't
become Chris
dance all the
Pratt.
fucking
you just evolve
time.
into him.
Yeah. How do you because you know as an actor you just playing a character, you just play it super well, then you get super famous and you just become
That's
like,
really
hey,
sad.
hey,
That's
do the
really
dance,
sad.
Carlton. Come on, man.
for the rest of his life.
That's
The rest of your life.
I think that's what you're supposed to do. Is you're constantly supposed to keep trying to develop. And if you just sit in this pool of I'm Carlton or I'm Steve Urkel, like if the guy, I can't even fucking know his name, the guy who's Steve Urkel, if he would have been auditioning for other shit while he was on
I like
that,
that. I like that take.
guarantee you he would have been
Something else, yeah.
yeah.
How about even better? How about if he would have been writing his own shit?
Exactly. And he
'Cause
was
that's it. That's I mean, I
He's
think
Steve Urkel. He could have easily wrote another comedy show where he was
something else
writing.
on his
Yeah.
own, or did I mean, they didn't have. We can criticize that era, but they didn't
Yeah.
have this, right? They didn't
Yeah,
have,
that's true.
nowadays,
It's kind of hard.
Nowadays, yeah, you have
Yeah.
this. So,
we're pointing at a computer.
I mean, you have technology at their fingertips. So you can change your image with technology. Back then, you just had to audition, and you said it. You hit the nail on the head. Auditioning, like I don't want to be that person waiting in line, standing in line waiting.
To kind of follow that up, this is sort of a. So, I'm sure that like what was it like a year ago? Kevin Spacey had these
Oh, you mean dirty Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, dirty Kevin Spacey.
Disgusting piece of shit.
Yeah. So
you got to listen to the real story about Kevin Spacey because the dude was 18 years old and very consensual in what he was doing. This dude wasn't bending over 2-year-olds, right?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I honestly didn't know everything about it. I was just calling him a piece of shit.
No, that's how it begins.
You're right.
He worked so hard.
Thank you. She is the good one.
He worked so hard on that. Yeah, the good bad cop. He worked so hard in his career. I don't believe. You know what? Even Louis C.K. I'm not.
Hey, wait, can you? I actually had that question right over here. Yeah.
I don't. You know what? I would work with Louis. And had I been in that situation,
so you don't feel no type of way as a female comic.
Anybody, man. He sat there. He'd be like, "Can I masturbate in front of you?"
Yeah.
If he would have done that in front of me,
Yeah.
I would have probably laughed. But that would have been me. I don't know how I would have.
Like I was saying, people are more.
The
I guess.
desperation to make it in this business and ignore what is right in front of your face that makes so much sense or not is really up to you.
Yeah.
It's to the person. Because if you're just going to pull down your pants right now and start masturbating, I'm going to go, well, this seems like a private moment, and just walk. Right?
I think Dave Chappelle put it best. Like, you can't have a brittle spirit in the Hollywood like entertainment business, because like if a motherfucker masturbating in front of you deterred
if you're
you,
walking into Hollywood, and
you mean that doesn't work, Sydney?
if you're walking into now, don't get it wrong. I'm not inviting anybody to masturbate in front of me.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
I think that's what
I'm her chauffeur. I can't allow that to happen.
I think that was the point with a lot of the at least from the women
they got
community.
really angry at him because
yeah.
here you go. You've got this person who's putting this image out there, and people are watching you. They're respecting you, and now this is
it's a power dynamic
like,
type
look
of
at Cosby.
situation.
Like how far, like there's one comic I think is God, what's his last name? And he says he talks about how if he was Cosby and Trump, and years ago, if you would have told him that one would be in jail and one would be the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how.
Yeah.
It's a
that's
great
good point.
joke. Alexander, what is he, Spanish?
Oh yeah, he probably said that Trump would be in jail and Cosby would be president, right?
Right. That's it. Wouldn't be the other way around, and it's hysterical, but it's true, right? But I really honestly, the power play. If you wait in line, that means you're waiting for the check. That means you gotta. When you take the money, you gotta take what they're gonna give you.
Yeah. So you
that business is not clean, and anybody that thinks that Hollywood is clean and it's just a nice clean.
Oh no, with the shit with the Harvey Weinstein and everybody just Hollywood.
You walk in with your eyes open.
You know what makes me mad about this whole like exposure of Hollywood or whatever. Like they're the ones who are just like raping and doing terrible shit. They're like, I felt like Hollywood has a very elitist like. Above everybody, they know how things should be and how our opinion's the best. They control everything or whatever. But they're out here just doing dirty, terrible shit like it's like any other organization. They're not. They're just as
and they take
awful.
Advantage of those
take
that
advantage
just
of
have
people.
a little talent and wanna be, and
they try to act
morally
morally superior than everybody is what they try to put on. You know, but they're doing fucking. Killing women for 30 plus years with fucking Bill Cosby. Yeah,
there's a lot of shit bags in Hollywood, but there's also a lot of decent people. There really are. There's a lot of decent people in there. It's just you gotta walk in with your eyes open.
Will Smith. Yeah.
Who's this?
Will Smith.
Will Smith
is
no.
Great.
He's not a good guy.
No.
You met Will Smith? What's going on?
Never met. No.
He's from Philly. Did you meet Will Smith?
Stop watching some videos on Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
Start looking into some of these
Marianette.
guys. This is the thing. Start looking into some of these guys that you think are, rock stars, and they're really assholes.
I mean, me and Cleveland saw Independence Day and a whole bunch of other movies and shit.
Look,
so
I
you gotta,
appreciate his
we
hustle,
got a rose tinted glasses.
He is
whatever
a
the fuck his
talented
phrase
person.
is.
He is a naturally talented
Yeah.
person. He is a creative, what I call a creative. There are some specific people that are creatives. They're creative people, but there are some almost geniuses. He's one of those. He's got a good, but there's a lot going on with Will Smith.
I know this for a fact that when Will Smith did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they said that they almost kicked him off of being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because he was such a tyrant dick behind the scenes.
Really?
Yeah, they were like,
Wow.
we were going to cut. And Will Smith had like a moment of clarity. He was like, okay, I got to get my shit together. And like, that's why the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air went, But yeah, he was a tyrant at first. Thought he was hot shit.
I really appreciate I don't know. There's a couple of people that I really appreciate their hustle, that I see that they're doing good. What's the one, Amy Schumer's director, the one that did her train wreck?
I don't
What's
know.
his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Judd?
Judd Apatow? Yeah.
He's a good cat.
He's
but,
married,
So what are some?
but who knows who's a real good cat?
What are
right?
some like really like really famous people that you met that you're like, wow, this person's legit and for real? Because you've been in the acting and comedy business for a while. Like who do you ones like?
I haven't met like a crap ton of famous people. I have, I do know a couple of them.
Couple of them, okay.
And even just working with them, like I've done. Look, I opened for Jim Brewer, right? You think the comic genius, amazing guy, and really cool dude. Then I met Pauly. I opened for Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore, yeah.
He's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's I don't know,
his mother Mitzi Shore on
his mother was fantastic,
yeah.
but he is a male chauvinistic piece of crap. Like it was just the way he was raised.
Yeah,
he really believes in like he shook a waitress. He literally shook her just out of like what. Like if he's got so much right. There's a lot of dickheads in this business.
Yeah,
but that's across the board. Can we curse? I'm like just
yeah, for sure.
I've cursed a lot of times.
Yeah. We've been cursing.
I don't usually curse. I'm just like it gets me a little angry. I guess that's why. Because I'm like, look, you've got a lot of people that are like they're sheep running to California, for example, to try to make it. They have talent. They want to, and then they wait in line and get raped. It's like it's fucked up.
Yeah,
like it's sad, and a lot of them are females, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But don't get it twisted. There's a lot of young cats that get out there and
they get violated
they have to
just
sell
as
their
well.
soul
Yeah,
like that
to make
prison
it an
joke
album.
I told earlier.
Well, here's my theory. At some point, I decided that I was going to be like, I would love to work with Hollywood, but I am old enough. I got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough now to be like, I am not after the money. I'm not after the fame.
Right.
I want to work. I want you to pay me for what I'm worth.
You're right.
I'm willing to not take your $1 million check. I'd rather turn around and grab 1 million people to give me $1.
So wait, so how do you feel about the Monique situation with Netflix when they're offering her $500,000?
You know what? If you listen to Cat, he's all right, and I'll give it right needle on the head or needle in the head.
You really love Cat Williams.
I love him.
Yeah.
Because he's true. He's real.
Yeah.
He's paid the price for opening up his mouth.
Yeah.
But
So you
he said
with
basically, look,
Monique
you're gonna,
or Cat Williams?
Netflix
I'm sorry.
pays you for how many views you've gotten, and maybe for example on one of your specials. If your special didn't get that many, like or not specials, even just her following.
Yeah.
Social media becomes absolutely prevalent right now.
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty active on social media, the Twitters and Instagram. I don't know anybody who's clamoring for a Monique special at this moment.
Exactly. So, but they go based on your followers. Like he said it. He goes, I might have 4 million followers. They're gonna give me $4 million for my Netflix special.
Okay. Here's the thing. I mean,
she had
people
800,000 followers. That's what they offered you, honey.
Bro. And plus, okay,
The
if you want a
numbers don't
higher
lie.
price, do some touring. If you really feel like you're worth more.
The numbers don't lie. She's
your
not
ticket
funny. I
sales.
can't watch her. I don't give her 5 minutes of my time. No offense. It's not to say.
It's been since the Queens of Comedy since I've
I
seen
don't think
Monique.
she's
That was like
funny.
2003.
But that's just my sense of humor. Is somebody
Yeah.
like Cat Williams, like that actually writes.
So
that writes stuff.
who are your guys' top 5 stand-up comics? I know
I don't have
Cat
5.
Williams.
I don't have 5.
Oh.
You know 5? Okay. Who you're like?
I got
you had
5.
You got 5?
So
I don't remember
number
names either.
You don't
number
remember
1,
names.
Robin Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's not a comedian. Think comedian. 'Cause
Well,
I-
he is a. I mean, I'm not.
Did he-
Rodman was just a genius. That was just a ball of art right
but
there.
he still was a comedian.
Okay.
He had
well,
stand-up specials.
Yeah.
He did have. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
yeah. No, he
Let
did.
him
No,
have
he
it.
did.
Let
No,
him
he
have
did.
it, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I get it, but
yeah.
I don't. But he's such a. That's like a stratosphere. That's like a.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I think that's why number one.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
Oh,
he's-
that's a good point. That's a
he's
good
number
point.
one.
Yeah.
He's out there. Yeah.
You know what? Number 2, I would say Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim
okay.
Carrey. You know, he did early stand-up work, and then that's where he started.
Mm.
And probably number 3, I would say Cat Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just fucking hilarious. I still have Pimp. I got Pimp Decision on my iPhone.
Too much.
Pimp Decision Part 1, Part
Pimp.
2. Yep.
Help.
I love him. I
Uh,
love him.
And probably, you know what, number 4, fuck.
Who's that guy? Who's the one that does the? I didn't even know he liked me. Who's this?
Oh, he does like the bacon thing too, right?
Yes. What's his
Oh,
name?
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim
Jim Gaffigan.
I love Jim Gaffigan
he's
too.
Gaffigan
Yeah.
is fantastically talented.
Bro, I got. Okay, go ahead.
Alright,
I got
you
a
do
side story.
3.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
yeah. Mm.
You know what?
We are in the closet.
Mm.
No,
Choose your words wisely in the closet, my brother, Mr. Moore.
no, my break.
Don't tempt me.
Because I know Kevin Hart. You know, like he should be one of my top 5. But
Can I do a hockey? I like it. Okay, here's my thing. Here's the thing about Kevin Hart. I kind of like Kevin Hart's stand up a little bit more than Cat Williams, but I like any Cat Williams movie. His acting ability and his like any interviews or whatever.
Dave Chappelle.
Super.
I forgot that fucker. Oh my
How
god.
How
forget
dare you?
Dave?
How did I 4?
But I
mean,
like-
4 or 3.
I like
It
Kevin's
could switch. I don't know.
stand-up.
But
Dave
look at how
Chappelle.
hard it is to come up with somebody that like. I don't say it's a dying art because I don't
You
think
It
feel
it
like
is.
is a
yeah.
dying art.
Cause like so many niggas are like they're
I
not
think it's a
just
dying art.
starting out with stand up
Like,
comedy.
yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
You know what getting back to like on that point of like it's a dying art.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been feeling the same way just about rock music.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
And-
Nickelback though, right?
Oh God.
Look at that photograph.
The
So-
Eagles, Def Leppard, hello.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause-
Hilarious. Yes.
Because well, here's the thing, right? And this was such a simple point that Aaron made to me, and I don't know why it didn't hit me sooner. But like, literally, the thing about well, at least rock music is that rock music is very standard. It's very rigid. It's very like
Very
as much
loud.
as there are so like your one rule is loud.
Mm.
And
Can't really fuck it up.
like, but because it's
But
so
you can.
simple, but because it's so simple, right? And because you can only go so heavy before you start going into like, okay, this is now inaccessible to people.
Right.
It's becoming harder and harder to innovate in the genre.
Ah.
And so now hip hop, on the other hand, which
Mhm.
has just a multitude of just diversity
Mm.
in terms of just musically, like,
Yeah.
Agreed.
like
It's the biggest thing now. It really is. Hip hop
Like-
is.
It's the
There's
bomb
a
diggity.
lot of money in hip hop.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so because that it has now taken center stage,
Mm.
right? Because there's so much innovation, like I feel like stand-up comedy has to face the same sort of like innovative step in order to maintain its relevancy, because like right now, it's been the same. A dude in front of a mic, or if I want to be PC, a girl in front of the mic too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
I
in front
think
of the mic just going
small
ahead on
innovations
stage.
that I've seen. This is one special. I forget the comedian's name. I think it was his name is Drew Michaels or whatever. He did a stand-up special without an audience, where it was filmed by Jared Carmichael. I don't know if you know Jared Carmichael.
Sounds mad familiar.
Yeah. But yeah, Drew Michael, I'm sorry. He did a whole entire hour special. I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it, but he did it without an audience or whatever. So it's just kind of like it's kind of like one of those weird in between. It's like a monologue type of stand-up comedy, but it's not really stand-up comedy. There's no audience, there's nobody's laughing or whatever. It's one of those like weird in between, but at least it's like innovation, at least in a sense. And then I saw on Netflix. Actually, no. I want to say I don't know if you know a comedian named Andrew Schultz. He did a 15-minute special on YouTube. He posted on YouTube, right? Called 444, I believe 441. I'm sorry, And that got like 1 million views, and I was like mad inspired because like most stand-up specials are 30 minutes minimum, like, and then normally like the bigger ones are an hour, right? So him just doing this like 15-minute special, because the way he phrased it, he was like, all right, a lot of Netflix specials nowadays, so it's like a fucking shit ton of Netflix specials coming out like every other day.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he saw, and most of them are an hour. Most of them, the watch time, right, are about 20 minutes. So people are tapping out early.
22.
They're not 20, 25 minutes, right?
22.
22?
22 is the universal number right now. You
Wow.
start looking at it, you'll start seeing
Okay,
it
so
everywhere.
22. He was like perfect. He was like perfect. All right, I'm gonna make my stand-up special 15 minutes. So he pretty much
And
made
your
a micro
podcast is
special.
22.
Yeah.
So he pretty much made like a little micro special. Micro special. So like this was the first micro. He had like production and him doing stand-up clips and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's kind of inspiring. And then Netflix a year later has a whole new segment of specials that are only 15 minutes long, because you know people are tapping out at 22 minutes, so 15 minutes is perfect. So people will watch 4 specials that are an hour long that are 15 minutes each, as opposed to one special that's an hour long.
You gotta
There
be
you
a
go.
funny fucker to have them that
That's
long.
why it isn't. That's why I say it's not a dying art. This is the perfect time for creative creatures to come out
Yeah.
and do their
Right.
thing. There's so many avenues, and that's just Netflix.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like
YouTube,
VidAngel and all
Hulu.
these people.
Yeah.
There's so many out there.
Mhm.
I mean, Amazon, they're doing their. Everybody's doing their own thing. There's plenty of space for new artists. It's just work, though. Everybody wants to be
Yeah.
an artist, but nobody wants to do the work.
Oh yeah.
Anybody can set up there and sing, but you gotta write the fucking song,
Yeah.
and you gotta rehearse it. You know,
Mhm.
It's a lottery mentality.
Yeah.
it's a lottery mentality. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get next. Oh yeah, or like viral's great. Try it anyway. I'm about doing everything and anything to make it. Not everything. You know what I mean?
Not suck that dick. Come on, Marianette. Have you never been offered that dick, Marianette? You've been in the business.
I'm so offended. No,
Yeah, that's how you know you're bad. You never got offered.
BJ, like, oh, no.
See, I think that's how you know you made it. Someone was like,
They offer you like, yo, it's just a dick. Just like as soon as you walk in, it's like,
Are you
wow,
uncomfortable?
I'm
Just let
really
me know.
popping.
Just let me know.
Are you that comfortable? Like, yeah, no. No, seriously. There's so many avenues for new creatives now, but you have to work at it. You have to work at it. You guys think that you're, like, this might not be going anywhere right now, but who knows?
Yeah,
You know,
we're just niggas in the
Cleveland might be
closet.
the next big pop. You know,
Hey,
he
that's
might
why we're
just
hoping for
pop, and you guys are
Cleveland.
like, I
Oh,
got it.
I got it when he wasn't shit. yeah.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
And garner yourself an extra 1 million followers. And right now, it really becomes the follower.
Yeah.
The follower is what predicates
Build your own platform.
You build your own platform.
Right.
You can build your own audience online.
yeah.
You really can. Just
Do
be
your
ready.
own.
Just
I need
be
to get
ready
on
when
them
they ask you to
cams.
get
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah, we gotta have the merch ready.
Uh,
yeah,
I've already. Oh my God! I've already.
Marianette.
Last night I was creating. I create different things every night anyway too. Like I graphic
Yeah.
artist my own shit. So that way I don't have to pay somebody.
Man, you are so popping. But anyways, all right.
I'm a.
You can do one fun question?
We'll do a couple, but just like really give me some fast answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel this heat. It's been an
See, now he's-
hour 43.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
the phone's starting to feel the heat.
Yeah.
It's on that 10%.
Yeah. My phone.
All right, here you go. What would you do if you only had 24 hours to live?
I would go by a beach, just get drunk, get high off the shit, like just get really really high.
Yeah.
I'd max out my credit card and go to a strip club.
Nice. All right.
Strip club's a lot of fun.
There we go. You know, that's the
You
way
do
to
that
do
every
it.
day.
Why not, though, right? Why not? I mean, 24 hours isn't enough time.
All right, every 2
Okay,
days.
you have the opportunity to be in a fictional universe for real. You know, not just act in it, but you are now part of that universe. But all the consequences of that universe are still real. So like, let's say you go to like the Harry Potter universe, someone can cast one of those spells on you and just kill you instantly. So,
Okay.
which universe would you pick to live in?
I'd go to the Wizard of Oz. I'd go out to.
Okay, nice.
Because there's only like one bad person there.
Yeah,
They're already
look
gone.
away
Yeah.
to the west.
Yeah.
I would go to the Marvel universe.
Marvel. Okay.
Beat up Spider-Man, take his suit.
Just bully
Are
Spider.
you
You gotta
prepared for
beat
that
up
fight?
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-Man will whoop your ass.
Sneak
Clay
up on the
Blue.
fucker while
Remember the
he's asleep.
consequences are real.
Yeah.
So is your strength.
He won't. But he can't kill people. It's part of his rule.
He'll beat your ass.
I'm taking
yeah.
a beating. That's fine.
Let's see. If you could hire the 30 most talented people to work on something, and I mean, these are, whatever you choose them to be experts in, they are at the highest level, highest caliber, 100%. You want a theoretical physicist to figure some shit out? You got a theoretical physicist that's the top in his field.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make them work on?
One problem in the world.
You go first.
Oh my God. You go first.
Okay. What? Now
You
I
can be
feel-
as selfish as you want, by the way.
No,
As selfish.
no, you
Oh,
hang
yeah.
up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Okay.
Like don't give me. I would find a cure for cancer. or something like that.
No. Fuck that. No. And fuck cancer. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, it's like improv coming in. You know what I'm saying? That's Second City.
No, but no. To be honest, if I had 30 of the most talented people to work on something for me, it'd be a movie or a
Okay.
TV show series.
All right. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
I would try to. God, I'm not that. I don't.
An
Selfish.
entire marketing team to build the brand.
To build the brand, I do that myself.
Mm,
If I had three really powerful people,
30.
You got 30.
30,
Yeah,
man.
30.
30
Yeah.
powerful people.
30 top in their field people,
Yeah, to work on
experts
I'm fine
in
with
whatever
that.
they're studying.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to get Trump out. Find the loopholes. I don't know.
Ooh.
Oh, all right.
Oh, that's good.
You need about 408 more, I think.
People
Is
to
that-
get out. Are those the representatives?
Yeah.
The representatives? Yeah.
That's the electoral
Yeah,
college.
yeah. It's a very
That's
subtle
the-
joke, but we got it.
That's
I would get rid of the electoral college with
Yeah.
30 people. That's just-
ooh.
30 bomb experts.
Is that?
Hashtag
you
homegrown
cure?
terrorism.
All right.
The FBI's not
So-
watching.
All right. Actually, let's wrap it up because
Yes.
It is getting warm in
He's
here.
about
yeah,
to-
it is
he's
pretty.
about
It's
to
quite.
faint.
So
Yeah.
you want to do your plugs and shit like that?
Everything
What
that you're
you
just
got?
Absolutely. You guys can
Yes.
follow me at I go. You Insta face tweet me at
That's such an old but Insta face
you
tweet
Insta,
me.
I'm writing. It's a hashtag that I'm creating
Is
to
it
sell the
Insta face
t-shirts for
tweet?
Magic.
Oh.
Insta you like for YouTube.
Uh-huh.
You Insta face tweet me at
Uh-huh.
La Puppet Comedy,
Okay, nice.
and then that way it's just across the board.
Mm.
Oh, but wait. Oh, well,
Yeah,
this
go
isn't
ahead.
live or anything, but I created the Comedianettes. It's an all-female show.
Yeah,
on
comedian. Yes,
27.
right. I have that. I have that on here.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask him, but I'm like, fuck it.
That's when you were asking about funny females, and I was like,
I
what
was
should
about to
know?
do a follow up, but I'm like, all right, we kind of went on a tangent, but I was like, fuck it.
No, trust me. I know
Yeah.
that there's not enough
Yeah.
funny females, but
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the only thing I can plug, I mean, I got an Instagram. It's Funny Cleveland Show.
Mm-hmm.
I am making fun of the Cleveland Show, the one that.
From Family Guy.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
that's yeah. I don't want Seth MacFarlane to sue me, but come at me, bro.
nah.
No, JK, love you, bro.
He will sue the shit out of you, man.
Don't fuck with me,
Yeah.
man, please.
JK.
I'm poor. No, also, if you guys got time, you're just sitting on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You should check out my
Videos.
my videos. I got it's
Yeah.
just Cleveland Moore, 2 O's. My channel. It's on the come up. I got some things I'm coming out with here soon. And you should check out my Cops trilogy. They're dumb as fuck, but they're funny. It's a bunch of Chicago caps doing Chicago stuff.
That's what I told him. He's got there's a lot of people that will do this, but he's got the gonas to get on there. It's really
Yeah.
hard to get your face on video
Yeah.
or your face on there. It's just hard. I haven't done it to it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't done it
definitely.
yet. I'm like, I don't know. I gotta fix it. Like he's just a natural.
Yeah.
I keep telling him just do more of those. The writing.
Yeah, do more
writing,
sketches and shit. Yeah.
I thought about getting in porn, but that's
I was not. That's not what
No,
I
no,
meant. Like
don't-
that's
yeah.
not.
no.
You're not that.
Oh, I'm
But
not. I don't
not-
look. No.
You-
Thank you.
You look like a nice clerk. And I'm
He's an extra in
He's
the.
a great extra. He's a great extra.
Mom, what are you doing? Okay, we went too far.
So the Cleveland Show and a la puppet comedy, but yeah. And
Editor's note. Edit that out.
Yes, editors, please.
Yeah, and of course, follow us at John's Closet, Instagram, John, JON_. Johns. Damn it! I always forget the S. Johns
_.
Closet _ on Instagram.
this
then
was
John's
a really
Closet.
good idea. I thought it
YouTube.
was really cute.
Facebook.
It's very hot, but it's adorable.
Yeah,
I got pit stains, but it's chill.
Yeah.
It's
As soon as you
it's
you
fine.
feel that outside breeze,
We'll
like,
get it.
oh, yeah.
Shit, you know what you get, girl? What you get for this podcast? You get some air as you walk out. That's it.
yeah. All right, yep. That's episode 22. We out.
This
Peace.
was episode 22 too.
Episode
Yeah.
22.
What?
Yeah.
So synchronicity. See.
America.
America.
Episode 22.
Peace.
We're not cutting this down to 22 minutes.
That'd be a shame.